BTB Kicks here, and today we're gonna be going over 10 things you should know before getting your sneakers restored. This list of 10 things you should know comes from me just being a sneaker restorer for almost 10 years now, and I've encountered every type of customer that you might be able to think of, pretty much everything when it comes to sneaker restoration because I've been doing it for so long. There's nothing that I haven't seen yet. Also, these are just the expectations that I feel like a lot of people have going in, and I feel like they should be informed before even bringing your shoes to a restore so you know what to expect, what's realistic, what's not. So before we dive into this video, like, comment, and subscribe. And let's do it. Number one, let's just get this out of the way. This is the big one. Not every shoe will come back looking brand new. It should be a no-brainer, honestly. Some people think, you know, if you see a pair of shoes get cleaned up in all the different videos and they always come back looking new, that is typically for a reason. It's usually those sneakers are either barely worn or, you know, they're not even really that crazy dirty to begin with. I mean, that type of stuff, I guess, can be misleading, I guess, if you're seeing content and things like that, but in most cases, the shoe will not be brand spanking new, like out the box once we clean it. It will look maybe like new, but it will never be brand new again. I can't even tell you how many times I've had customers come and ask me, oh, you think you can make these look brand new again? Oh, you think you can make these look good again? Like brand new, like brand new? And I have to tell them, like, I cannot guarantee you brand new. Well, the moment you put them on, they will never be brand new again. But I will definitely try my best to bring them back as close as I can for you. Number two, this is one that I think a lot of people don't even know. Different soles ice differently. For example, I have 3 pairs of shoes in front of me. I have a Concord 11 right here. I have a Cool Gray, and I have a Jordan 11 Jubilee. So the main difference with these 3 is that the makeup of the actual sole is different between each model. So a pair of Concords might ice differently than a pair of Cool Grays versus, you know, the Gratitudes. I don't know if I said Jubilees or Gratitudes. Either way, it's the same type of bottom, but as you all can see, hopefully you can see this on camera, the Concord bottom is more of like a glass-like icy blue, like it's more clear than anything. It's just straight see-through. And then as you go along, they get more milky. So the Cool Gray in this has a mixture of this glass-like and a milky bottom, like how this would be on a Jubilee or a Gratitude, like the milky white, instead of it being a clear. The last shoe, the Gratitude, is the milky white, but unfortunately this pair has already turned to that cream. Shoes that start off as a milky white, like the Gratitude and the Jubilee, and 72 and 10, those type of shoes, those never come back to milky white after they turn to this cream looking color. That's something that you should know just as a consumer, and this is something restorers should know, not to promise customers. Once it turns like this, you cannot bring it back to that white. It's kind of the same deal on these Cool Grays. It's just like a hit or miss. If they're too far gone, like too far yellow, there's no reversing it. But if they're like barely worn or like maybe lightly worn, you can see more of a transformation back, similar to the Concord 11. This one is the most likely you'll see a transformation because it's just straight clear. This type of bottom always ices better than one that's like this. Number 3, restoration takes time. I don't know how many times I've had, you know, customers, you know, after I tell them the turnaround time, which is typically about a week and a half to 2 weeks in my shop, depending on how busy it is at a given time, and they'll freak out on me. They'll be like, 2 weeks? That's way too long. And it's like, you also have to keep in mind, I'm not only doing your pairs, but I'm also doing other people's pairs. But along with that, good work takes time. So if you want stuff iced and repainted and all this other stuff, it takes time. There's a process to it in order to get the best results for you. Number 4, sole swaps equals surgery. Now, out the gate, I will say we do not offer this service at my shop. Sole swaps is just a whole nother beast. A good example of this would be if you had a pair of Jordan 3s and they started crumbling, you'd have to replace the entire, you know, thing. You have to re-glue, re-stitch the toe in, all that type of stuff. That's typically a very expensive, I guess, restoration, just because not too many people do it, for one, and for 2, you have to find a donor sole, and for 3, it's a very difficult, time-consuming type of task to do for someone. If you like have a super rare pair and like want to wear them, I mean, that makes more sense to get those maybe sole swap. But like if you're intending on having a pair as a collector's piece or something like that, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like worth it to even get done. That's like special cases. Number 5, glue and separation issues. over time, as shoes get older, they start to deteriorate. And one of the things that starts to deteriorate, which is the most detrimental to your sneakers, is the glue that holds them together, pretty much. Shoes that are like 8 and 9 years old, you will definitely start to see deterioration of the glue. Over time, you will probably need a re-glue. We don't offer re-glues at my shop anymore. Yeah, that's just something to be aware of. If your shoes are on the older side, definitely be aware that they could be on the verge of, you know, falling apart. Number 6, which is one of my favorites, restoration can preserve and or add value to your sneakers. I preach about this all the time in my Discord down below if you want to join the sneaker restoration Discord, where I give out tips, tricks on restoring sneakers, growing your sneaker reselling business or sneaker restoration business. But one thing I really talk to them about a lot is we can buy used sneakers. While this pair isn't like extremely bad, you can see there is a lot of yellowing along the outsole, and it's just a completely different color. But to the consumer, if you were to sell this shoe as is, they're gonna think like, oh, this shoe's dirty, this shoe is nasty looking. Whether you're a restorer or just somebody trying to get rid of your shoes, it's always best to bring them back to make them look as new as possible, so then that new consumer or the person who's supposed to be buying the shoe from you perceive the shoe as higher value, bringing in more money on the sale. Number 7, kind of piggybacking off the last one, prevention is better than restoration. Preventing something from happening before it gets too bad is always better, because it's easier to bring something back from like a 7 to like a 9, 10 than it is to bring something back from like a 4 to a 10, because that's just like very unrealistic. Number 8, I'm kind of controversial with this one. It's kind of controversial. So oxidation is natural, which is basically another way of saying yellowing on your sneakers. It is natural. It's just gonna happen over time as your sneakers age. But on another note, oxidation is not your fault either. It's just the way the shoes are made. These sneaker brands have the capability of making shoes where they don't yellow. A good example would be, I believe, the 1999 white cement 4s. The netting on those is still like very pure white compared to some of these recent releases of Jordans, where the netting just turns yellow almost instantly, or like within a few months or even the first year of owning the shoe, which is unfortunate. Granted, we spent all this money on these sneakers. I think it's honestly a tactic just to get us to keep buying the sneakers over and over and over and over again. But I'm pretty sure they know how to make sneakers that don't yellow, but they do it on purpose. But aside from that, it is natural for, you know, materials to age and have oxidation over time. Number 9, DIYing can make things worse. So this is something that I've encountered a decent amount. My customers, I feel like, don't really do it as often anymore. Basically trying to clean your own shoes or do like at-home remedies instead of bringing them to the professional to be cleaned. The common one that I've seen back when I was accepting re-glues was somebody would try to re-glue their own shoes using Gorilla Glue. That is a no-no. If you do that, it's really over. It's really over for your shoes, because that's almost like cement. And once it kind of like foams up, it's not the right type of glue, more or less. That's the simpler way to put it. It's not the right type of glue. If you want the right type of glue, I'll show you a can. It's this one right here. If you wanna attempt to re-glue your sneakers, use this one. At least it's the correct glue, but in most cases, I would say leave it to the professional, because if you don't know what you're doing, you're just gonna make your shoes a lot harder to bring back. You're gonna make the job a lot harder to do, and you're probably gonna get charged a lot more money to fix your mistake. Same thing with trying to clean your suede. Suede is one of those things that's really unforgiving, but yeah, leave it to the professionals. Please don't DIY if you don't know what you're doing, especially if you don't want to replace your own shoes, because I know they're expensive. Then last but not least, every shoe has its limits. We can't necessarily bring shoes all the way fully back, which is, you know, kind of what I said in the first tip, but you can only clean the shoe up to a certain point. If there's like a stain locked in or something like that, like, you know, we can clean up the shoe, clean up everything else, but like, if the shoe still has like stuff that's in it that won't come out, that's just the limit. Unfortunately, that's like, it's capped at that point at what we can do for the shoe. So we might be able to make it look better. And this is why I don't ever promise brand new to customers. We promise the best that we can do. I've had some customers, they'll say, you couldn't get this little spot, or you couldn't get this. If we could, it wouldn't be there. That's all I'm gonna say. But we definitely always try our best to bring shoes back to life. But if there's just a certain point where we can't do much else because the shoe won't move, like it's too far gone, more or less. So these were the top 10 things that you should know before getting your sneakers restored. And if you want to learn more about sneaker cleaning, sneaker restoration, or sneaker reselling, and want to start your own sneaker side hustle or business, I break all of this down and give out tips and tricks, which is in my Discord, which is linked down below. But without further ado, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.